Welcome back to Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark. This is our 5-minute review. In today's review, we're going to be talking about the recently released on streaming film Dream Scenario. It is available now on Max. That's where I watched it, but you can also rent it on Prime. It was released originally in 2023 and got some brief awards consideration. But it is directed by Christopher Borgli. That name doesn't do anything for me, but he directed other films such as Drib, and he looks like that was his only other directing credit in 2017. But this movie was also written by Christopher Borgli, and it stars Nicolas Cage. Julianne Nicholson is also a co-star here, and that's really it. Tim Meadows and Michael Cera have bit parts. Michael Cera's part is really good for him. Tim Meadows' part is good for him as well. But this is a dramedy, right? And the premise behind the film is that Nicolas Cage is this just ordinary, less than ordinary dude. He's a father of two teenage girls. Been married for like 15 years. He is a doctor. He has his PhD and he teaches at the local university as tenure. And he's just trying to get a book published or get a publishing deal for a book that he wants to write. And people start having dreams about him. And soon it becomes this like global phenomenon. Everybody's having dreams about Nicolas Cage, and the dreams are all over the place. They're sexual, they're voyeuristic, and they're violent. And he's just it starts out that he's uninteresting in them. He's just there. He just happens to be in their dream, but doesn't say anything. And then he starts in the dreams. He starts to do more things. And originally, he wants to. The whole film is about Nicolas Cage wanting to be recognized. That's how it starts out. He goes to get coffee with a former girlfriend, and she tells him, "Hey, I had a dream about you," and he's like, "Oh," and she's like, "Yeah, you're just there, and I want to use you in my book and this," and so he gets kind of offended that his stuff isn't as interesting as hers, and it kind of starts the film of in that train of thought of, why am I not as interesting as these other people? And this is like his midlife crisis, so to speak. And then the rest of the film is him dealing with the fame, the unwanted fame that comes from being recognized, and then the dreams that everybody is having turn violent, and how just regular people turn against him. People start being afraid of him in real life. They don't want him in the same restaurant and the same places as them because they're afraid of him. And Michael Cera's character plays an ad executive, or not an ad, what's the word I'm looking for? An agent, so to speak, to get him, capitalize on his popularity. And so they kind of navigate this, and it's this like rise and fall of Nicolas Cage in this movie. And it's really good. This is probably Nicolas Cage's best performance, I think. He plays ordinary. He plays unhinged. He plays awkward. We get classic Nick Cage at certain times in this film. It's really good. I highly recommend it. It's an hour 40 some minutes, and it kind of breezes through. And him and Julianne Nicholson's rapport in the film is really good. So I'm going to recommend it. Catch it on Max. But don't forget to hit the show notes. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button when it pops up, so you know any future content right here on the podcast. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So give us a like, follow, and subscribe. And don't forget the podcast releases weekly, every Thursday on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And we'll catch you next time.
Dreams.
Oh, no, you're not.
So I'm finally cool, huh?
I didn't say that.
You hear that, Janet? She's saying I'm a cool dad. Oh,